Alright, you guys, we're down to our final kite example, and then we'll be moving on to trapezoids, so get excited. So this problem involves more of the angle parts of the kite. So we have f to the e to the j, angle FEJ, so FEJ is this one right here, is 25 degrees. So this guy right here is 25 degrees. Alright, remember it's always good to label your picture in geometry. FGJ, so FGJ is 57 degrees. Alright, and we want to find the measure of GFJ, so GFJ, so this one. We want to find JFE, so JFE, we want to find this one. And then we also want to find GHE, which is this whole thing right here. So eventually we'll be finding this whole angle as well as these two guys right here. Alright, so let's pull up those nifty kite properties that we talked about from earlier. Alright, which, let's see if I can zoom in anymore. No, go back. Kinda, yeah. Alright, so now we're focusing on more angle stuff, so let's see which angle stuff might apply to my nifty kite right here. Alright, so diagonals are perpendicular, so that might help us because that involves angles. So my two diagonals, when they intersect, form 90-degree angles because that's what perpendicular means, form right angles. Alright, it has one set of congruent opposite angles, and these are the angles created by the two non-congruent sides. So the angle that is made up of the two sides that are not congruent are congruent. So eventually we will know that this angle is congruent to this angle. Alright, so if I know what this whole angle is, eventually I can find one of my missing angles, JHE. So that will be helpful. Also, let's see here. That diagonals bisect the angles created by the congruent sides. So my angles created by my congruent sides, the diagonals bisect it, which means it cuts it in half and creates two congruent angles. So like these two are congruent and these two are congruent, as well as these two. These two are congruent and these two because the diagonal bisects it and cuts it in half. So like if that's 25 degrees, it means that this is 25 degrees. And if that's 57, this is 57. So I don't know, that might help me. It might not, but who knows? It might. Okay, so now we must find what each of these individual angles are right here, as well as this big angle right here. So remember, like I told you from before, sometimes looking at shapes within the shape is what it takes to solve these problems. Okay, which there's several ways that you guys can solve this. I'm going to look at these little triangles in here first. So first, I'm going to focus on this triangle right here, triangle FGJ right here. Alright, so let's look at that triangle. I'm going to call it triangle 1 for simplicity. Alright, so triangle 1, it looks like this. Let's see if I can do it without a ruler. Alright, I kind of did, okay. So this is JFG. Okay, we know that this is 57 degrees, and one of the angles we're trying to find is GFJ. So GFJ, we're trying to find this guy right here. Okay, which I'm going to go back to full screen. Okay, so we're trying to find this angle right here. So I know two of the angles in my triangle. I know that that's 90 and that's 57. So how could I find my third angle, which is angle GFJ? You guys are so smart. All the angles in a triangle do, in fact, add to be 180. So if we add these together and subtract from 180, we will be able to find that angle in there. Okay, so if I add my two angles together, so 90 plus 57, I do in fact get 147 degrees. And if we subtract that from 180, we will find that angle right there, which is what we're looking for. So minus 147. So 180 minus 147, well, 180 minus 140 is 40. Minus 7 more gives me 33 degrees. Holy hot dog. So we know one of our angles. The measure of angle GFJ right here is 33 degrees. Yay. So this is 33 degrees. Oh. The measure of angle GFJ. Jeez, what's long? GFJ equals 33 degrees. So bam, we know one of our angles. One down, two to go. Let's go. Okay, so I'm going to block this off like that. All right, so now I need to find JFE. So J to the F to the E is this little guy right here. And I can kind of use the same concept of this one. So now I'm going to focus on this triangle right here. So I'm going to look at this guy right here, triangle FJE right here. And I know two of the angles in the triangle, which will help me to find my third triangle. So I'm going to call this triangle 2 to keep them straight. All right, so triangle 2 looks like this. Yeah, okay, it doesn't look awful. With a ruler, it's always cleaner, but I'm being lazy right now, so sorry, guys. All right, so that's 9 degrees. We know this guy is 25 degrees, which that's E. This is F. And this is J. All right, which if I know two of the angles in my triangle, how am I going to find the third angle? Like before, if you add them up and subtract from 180, since all the angles in a triangle add to be 180, that's going to help you find the third angle, which is angle JFE. Look at that. So we're going to add those bad boys together and subtract from 180. So 25 plus 90 equals 115 degrees subtracted from 180. So 180 minus 115 is going to give me, let's see here, 180 minus 100 is 80, minus 15 is 65. Bam, 65 degrees. Yay! So this angle right here, angle JFE, is 65 degrees. So the measure of angle JFE equals 65 degrees. Look at that. Bam. That angle is donezo. And now we want to find JHE. Okay, so remember from earlier, these two whole angles are congruent, which we know this piece of the angle is 33 and this piece of the angle is 65. So, if we know this entire angle, guess what, you guys? We can find the entire angle over here. Okay, so how are we going to find this entire angle over here? You guys are so smart. You do add them together. So, angle GFE will be these two added together. So, I'm going to do this in blue to change up my color. So, the measure, let's see here. The measure of angle JFE will equal the measure of angle GHE, which is what we're looking for. So if I can find the measure of angle JFE, I'm golden. We are golden. Okay, so the measure of angle GFE, that's G, sorry, equals my 65 plus 33 degrees. All right, which 65 plus 30 is going to be 95, plus 3 more is 98. So the measure of angle GFE is 98 degrees, which means the measure of JHE is 98 degrees. Holy hot dog, you guys. We have tackled and completed this epic problem. You guys should be proud of yourself. That was not an easy problem. So way to go, you guys. I hope you love kites as much as I do. So now when you're at the beach and you're flying your kite, you can use these properties to solve things about your awesome kite at the beach. So just keep that in mind. But anyways, have a good day.